Good morning, my friends, and welcome to today's training. Today we're adding another episode to the Welcoming You series. This is episode number 5, and that is working with your fears about healing and taking risks. Because, frankly, healing and taking risks go hand in hand. It's one of those uncomfortable paradoxes that we get to live with, and that healing is actually a risk. And we're going to talk about how that works, what kind of risks there are, and how we can work with ourselves there in a way that's compassionate and kind and loving for ourselves. So, if you're new to me, welcome. I'm Burtcher, and I help codependents rediscover their well-being and happiness after narcissistic abuse and help them accomplish that by healing the trauma bond, by coming to know, love, and live who they are and create sustainable and happy relationships in the world. Before we get started, I need to share this out to the community here real quick. The community is your safe haven here where you can find tools, guidance, and support in your journey beyond codependency. The link is above on Facebook and it's below on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And guys, share this video out to whomever you feel will benefit from it. And then let me know in the comments below how you're doing. And let's get this going. So I'm going to sit here and share this out. Click some buttons, and buttons are clicked, and voila. So good morning. Working with fears about healing and taking risks. So first of all, this is very normal. It is very, very, very normal to feel scared about taking a risk. It's normal to have some anxiety, to have fear, to have intrepidation about healing, about taking that leap into something else in your world, because instinctively we're moving into the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. We have hopes of what might happen. We have fears of what might happen. We have fears that our hopes won't come true, for instance. We have fear of getting into a relationship with our pain, having to feel pain, having to live with that pain. We have fears that things won't work. We have fears that we can't do it. It's not something I can't heal. It's something personal to us at that point where we think that there's something intrinsically wrong with us that prevents us from actually healing. Sometimes we have fears about what the consequence will be, like change. Like what will change? Will I lose my relationship? Will I have to leave it? We have fears of actually having what we want. What would it be like to be loved, valued, and seen? What would it be like to be at peace? What would it be like to have the success we're looking for, or the contentment, or the wholeness, or the openness, whatever it might be? See, fear, risk, and healing all share a very interesting relationship with change. Now, in my own journey with healing and dealing with the fear and confronting these aspects of myself and leaning into the unknown, one of the most powerful things I learned it about 10 years ago, was to become curious instead of trying to get rid of the fear. So I brought my fear along with me in the journey. So when I started doing healing work, I would focus on one specific thing I would like to make progress in. Now notice I said progress in and not achieve a specific outcome. Because I found that a lot of my fear, a lot of my anxiety was rooted in, hey, this might not work. So what does it mean about me if I don't get the outcome I'm seeking? So I had a lot of meaning, a lot of significance attached to that regulated, either upregulated or downregulated, added to or took away from my sense of worth as a person. I'd attached my value to the results that happened. And so that's one of the first things I shifted. It was like, I'm no longer going to seek a specific outcome with my healing work or with anything I'm actually doing. Instead, I'm going to take action, and I'm going to see what that action produces. I'm going to see what outcomes that action results in. And this fostered curiosity. This is where I became more interested in what might happen and what does happen rather than trying to make a certain thing actually occur. This is how my healing started to teach me, because that's really what healing is. It's not fixing something. It's evolving our awareness from state A to state B through gradual shifts in our perspective, through what we learn, through what we gain, through discovery, through those results, through seeing the world from different points of view. That's the gritty of real healing, is we evolve our relationship to our past experiences, our present ones, and the future ones we hope to have. And that evolution moves towards integration, it moves towards wholeness, it moves towards peace and presence within inside of ourselves. So Robin says, I was saying to Kaya that letting go of the fantasy felt like it could bring me back into being a one-eyed amoeba in the evolutionary swamp. Well, yeah, we letting go of our fantasy. Part of it is letting go of our assumed identity in relationship with the world. So really, we're coming back, when we let go of fantasy, back to reality and starting to discover what's really there. And it is a journey in coming back to ourselves and understanding who we are, getting to know who we are, getting to understand what matters to us. So it's curiosity that became the guiding principle in how I work with my own healing and how I guide my students and my clients, because that's the point. Let's find out who you'll be without your codependency. Let's find out who you'll be with legitimized anger. Let's find out who you'll be beyond your shame, or without believing that you're unworthy. Who will you be if you had innate value? This is all discovery. This is what moves us down the road. It's also what allows us to become more connected and caring of our own pain. So now we don't have to get rid of our pain. We get to understand what our pain is attempting to communicate to us, so that we can connect with it and we can nurture ourselves in it. There's a practice I teach in the Heal Yourself strategy called ALI. It stands for Acknowledge, Legitimize, and Integrate. These three little steps are how we show compassion to ourselves. They're the how of love. They're the how of self-respect. I acknowledge my experience and what I'm feeling. I legitimize it. It's real. Of course I feel this way. I allow it to take up space. I allow it to teach me, and that allows it to then integrate. So this is how healing actually functions. And when we approach healing from curiosity and not from trying to get a specific outcome or try to control things, what starts to occur is we have less fear, we have more curiosity, we have more playfulness in our healing. And the healing actually starts to stick. We actually start to experience results that stick around, results that change things within us that then lead to changes in our external world, because we're making different choices, taking different actions, which create different results. That's how we work with our fear, our fear of taking risks, our fear of healing. This could be outside of healing. This could be taking risks in a career or a business or in a relationship or things you want to do in your world. Get curious about what it's going to teach you, what you're going to discover and learn from it, and how it's going to grow you, because that's the magic. That's where we become more and more empowered in our world, more and more successful in what we're accomplishing. This is how we heal. And this also applies to like enrolling in a course, whether it's mine or someone else's. There's always an intrepidation, like, wow, this is a leap. I'm going to take a risk. Do the same thing. Get curious about what it'll teach you. Get curious about how it will or may not work. Give yourself space and opportunity to consider what you'll discover in it and make it an adventure. And then it becomes a lot simpler to take those leaps if you're looking at therapy, like choosing a therapist and jumping into that, or taking a course, from someone like me, or investing in yourself in specific kinds of work. Get curious rather than, wow, I got to make this work, or if it doesn't, then no. It's more like, what will I learn in this? What is this going to teach me? What will I discover about myself? Because that's where your investment of time, energy, money, and all that immediately starts to produce a return to you. So there's this thing out there that people have, this fantasy about healing is like, I could take a course and be healed, or go to therapy and be healed, whatever. That's not how it works. A course will never heal you. A therapist will never heal you. Healing happens through the application of practice and knowledge. And that comes through the discovery aspect of doing the thing. That's where the magic is. That's how we really change things, is by doing practices. Basically, you create the healing in your world by applying the knowledge through practice that you're gaining in whatever it is you're doing. That's how we accomplish that. So yes, Deborah says, hi Marshall, I'm loving the ALI tool and pulling me out of resistance and analysis. Yeah, there we go. Nice work, Deborah. So this is how we work with fear. This is how we work with risk. We get curious about what it's going to teach us. And then we do it. And we find out what it teaches us. And then we refine our effort, our next set of choices and actions, based on what we learned in that. And then we find out what that teaches us. And over and over and over, that's how we do it. Because it's really a lifestyle. It is not like an event. When we start living this way, this is where we really start getting what we want. This is where we start having the joy and the happiness we've been missing and seeking. This is where we really anchor into our power. This is where things really change for us in our world. So that is today's training, my friends. Go out there and play with this. Discover for yourself how curiosity allows you to learn and grow. Letting go of what outcome you want and discovering what outcome you get. Letting it teach you. Let's discover who you become as you get more attuned to your own brilliance, to your own curiosity, and see where it takes you. So remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. If you want assistance in this, the Heal Yourself strategy is built on this concept. I encourage you to enroll. It's open for enrollment. The link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. And if, again, you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Guys, share this video out to those whom you think will benefit from it. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. And then I will see you guys in our next training video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.